Hello, hello. How are we all doing today? We are hopefully going to get a little bit of finalization, I guess, and then the tray app that we've been working on with Tauri. Just getting set up a little bit on it. Do not disturb on all those spam calls lately, you know. So I took a little bit of a holiday break, which was nice. But now I need to find the project we were working on. It's funny how that goes, you know. So I'm just pulling that up right now. Where did I put it? I think I'm gonna have to look at one of my past streams. That's hilarious. So it goes. So it goes. Playground. I have a root play on, don't I? There we go. There we go. Okay. So I got a nice new camera. Did we stream with it last time? I think we caught it right at the end of the break. I've shifted around a little bit. I think I'm pretty happy with where it's at now. I can switch over to the code view. I think I'm pretty happy with it. There's always little tweaks and stuff that you can do, but I'm okay with this. So I pulled up after going through like 1,000 folders. We have our tray app. Okay. Let's pull up the docs again. I know some are doing. Oh, the API wanted a separate place. That's nice. We're getting pretty close to that final release, and some folks were working on updating the sort of the layout of the docs a little bit, which is, I think, an improvement. So I feel at that. And now that I've gotten through most of the holidays, I'm gonna hopefully start making some more contributions again. But life, as it were, we get busy. Okay, so let's pull up the code. Take a quick look at where we had left off. So the first time we had kind of done this, we had a tray app that we could click in here, it would show the menu like any of these other menus, and you know, just like the hey Ben, how are you doing? And the options in the like native tray isn't amazing. So we were experimenting with it when we clicked it, rather than showing a menu, kind of clean out that menu a little bit, scope that way down, and instead pop up a web view when you click it. And with web view, we can kind of do anything that we want. And we pulled in this system info crate. So we were we were printing out memory when we clicked the button last time. I think what we want to do in this is ideally get that into our web view. And that I think will, hooking all of that up, I think will kind of give us a good template for, I guess, this sort of niche of app types where somebody is doing things in Rust or is doing general like monitoring types software that makes sense to run in the background. I have a feeling, especially with the tight coupling to Rust, that will be a popular use case. So it would be nice to kind of have a template, and this can eventually become that, I imagine. So let's go ahead and run this. We'll see where we're at with that. We are using npm. npm version 8 and node 16. You can also see it in my command prompt, which is handy. And we've got dev build serve, and we want to do Tauri dev. And that's going to go ahead and start up our app in dev mode. Couple warnings that we saw in Rust Analyzer already. That's okay. Actually, well, this is going up. I tried to set up stream markers the other day. Kind of curious if it broke, I think, when Twitch had that hack or whatever. I think they reset everybody's passwords, and I think it reset the integration on my Stream Deck, and I never noticed it until I tried to use it last stream. So fingers crossed. Hey, I pressed the button. So we'll get stream markers now. And I think that'll be helpful for looking at editing up and pulling out a little bit of like clips. So we can have snippets of the video that would be easier to consume than an hour-long stream. No, Ben, you've been getting into doing videos too, right? Are you throwing those on YouTube? You're mostly just focusing on the video, though, not the streaming aspect of it, right? Nice. Slowly putting them up on YouTube. Okay. Okay, so these are new recordings. These aren't old recordings that you had from previous streams or whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense to me. I've been putting all my streams on YouTube, and I think I'm at about 30 now, which is a lot. Nice. I didn't want to do too many things all at once, so I kind of was just getting comfortable getting the habit of doing the stream on a schedule. And I feel like, I mean, some of those were like multiple streams a week, but there's a good quarter plus worth of schedule that I had going before I was like, okay, I think it might be time to do some video editing. And I've done a bunch in the past, but it's been a while, so it's going to take a little bit of time to ramp that up, but one thing at a time. Okay, so we should have it running. Tauri, the main Tauri window should be hiding on setup. So when it first loads, we're not actually going to see anything. It's just going to go right into the tray, which is what we want. Now when we click it, we're going to see it. And this is just the default create Vite app, or Vite. I always say Vite. Vite app with just React, I think. And it does stay up, which is kind of annoying. So we'll probably want to like click away. But that's fine, we can deal with that. So let's go ahead and open let's open this up. This should refresh. Oh, we need a draggable region. Here, that's gonna be annoying. Guess that's not terrible. Maybe I don't actually need to drag it. I just need a way to like click off or close it. So let's do a little bit of Webview stuff. So Ben, you're doing your stuff on your videos are AWS, I think, right? That's you've mostly been getting to that through work, I presume. Move this over so we can still see it. I think I do. We're gonna want to do what to do for this. And we need to look into logical position versus physical. I'm gonna go ahead and let's do need to fix my template here, but do the note thing. So we want to look into physical versus logical position for Windows. Tauri, just so it's clear that it's not Windows. Actually, no. We barely touched the AWS stuff at work. Interested in the tech, particularly with CDK. Complex is definitely a valid word for when you're talking about AWS. That's cool. That's cool. I want to dig into AWS more, but I feel like it's such a rabbit hole that I've just intentionally avoided it. And I've been using it indirectly with serverless stuff via Netlify or what have you. But that's about all that I've touched it all indirectly, I think. I think I'm gonna end up having to get into it eventually, though. Most of the clients that we work with seem to use Azure, so I've got more experience with that, better or worse. But I don't know. I don't have any like personal things that I really want to do with it. I think that's part of what's actually really dictating it. Some of the caching stuff, like CloudFront and that cache kind of stuff, and serverless, I wouldn't mind getting into a little bit more just to play around with, but I don't have a real great use case for it. So so we want to do, we need to look into physical versus logical position, and stop hard coding the window location adjustment. I think I basically hard coded where to put the window, because it's these values that it gives you are effectively where you're clicking. Oh, excuse me, position X and Y are where you're clicking. But I don't want it to be opening up right underneath my click. I want it to be like slightly above this. But I don't think that's going to work for Mac, because that's up in the top. So that's what to do. And I'm probably not going to bother figuring that out on the stream, but that's definitely, if we're making a template, we do not want that hard coded. All right, so we're getting this. We're doing this system within here. So we need to send this stuff to the Webview. And now the question is going to be, how do we best do that? So let's strip out some of this. I don't really want this for right now, just to make it a little bit easier, a little bit cleaner. Edit. Delete that. And I don't need the React logo. Okay. So that's real clean. And this is using, so in dev mode, Tauri can point at a web server, and Vite is starting up through ES build a web server. So that's why you get this fast refresh. You don't actually, when you're editing just the web view, you actually don't need to, especially if you're using Vite or something that reloads real fast. You don't have to wait for the Rust rebuild. For actual use cases, been doing a lot of projects that you take data. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of data projects. A lot of data projects. So I can definitely see how how that has caused you to go down that rabbit hole of AWS. Yep. If for anybody watching this, did we get? It's still working, right? Yeah, that's still working. Check out some of Lannon's Lannon BR. I believe that's your GitHub handle. Ben has done a bunch of work with looking at data. And I think the VS Code release notes still... okay, great, yeah. I think the release notes for VS Code still show your graphs, don't they? It's pretty cool how they picked that up. Okay, so we've got our web view. We need to push information from the Rust side to the web view. And I know we can do commands, and I've done, I think we end up doing an invoke for so the information that we have in Rust right now is memory. That's something that we potentially want to refresh. So we can do like an invoke from the Rust side. Let's see. So we can create Rust commands, and then we can invoke them from Webview side. We need to add a handler to that command. This command is using some macro fanciness, so we don't have to have a massive like nested tree of commands and code. We can just split out these functions and just reference these functions directly, which is handy. So this is all JavaScript. This is all JavaScript invoking a Rust command, but we sort of want to go the other direction. So we invoke a command, we pass a message, then error handling. And there's async stuff, which is nice. Async Rust, which is nice. So we can keep some state. Struct my state. We can kind of keep some state within the like binary memory through Rust. Multiple commands. What's the opposite? No, I'm pretty certain you can do the opposite. But I'm not seeing it here. I do not remember how to do that offhand. So I think this might, okay, so you can listen to events on the Webview and then react. And that actually might be the way to I mean, we could probably just do a button. You click the button refreshes, invokes that. That's probably the way to do it, actually. So rather than dumping this directly in here. But I would want to update it when you show it first, so it's not stale, so you don't have to click the button every time. Let's see, so this would be events. You'll occasionally see backend. A mental model that I've kind of found helpful is that the web view is sort of your front end. That's pretty generally doesn't matter, and it mirrors similar to what we're doing in the browser. The Rust end of things acts almost like a server, that rather than doing actual like HTTP calls, you're doing or fetches or whatever other have you. You're generally doing like message passing kind of stuff through this invoke. I think that uses that. And there's other options for more complex things, and you can always stand up a server too, as like a sidecar, but generally that's only needed in specific situations. Okay, so we window specific events. This would be the Rust side. Getting events for. Oh, okay. I think that's what I want. So there's maybe we can look at the API. That might be easier. I've definitely not looked. Oh. In physical pixels. Okay. Yeah, that's why it's on my to-do list. Or the definition is being defined by the word that is defining. That's something that would be helpful to make better. So we can, oh, I didn't know that. We can actually make a new Webview window from JavaScript side of things. Window manager. So app, get version. Xander. How are you, friend? Appreciate the crabs. Rust station thing. You know what I mean? It's been a week. It has been a week. Yes. Happy Friday. Happy Friday is the best way to follow that up. All right. What can you do but laugh at yourself? Okay. So it's an API Tauri. Invoke. Invoke args. Why am I not seeing invoke? Invoke Tauri commit. Really, that is sort of buried. And those docs are not helpful. Invoke Tauri command. Great. Okay. We are. Hey Tony, how are you doing? Yep. We are continuing our Tauri tray app. So we've got a little tray up here. Click the button. Boop. This is Vite. Well, it tells you right there. Vite and React. So right now we're trying to figure out. I know we can do a Rust command and invoke that from the JavaScript side. I thought we could do Rust and invoke from Rust something that the Webview can listen to. Maybe that is an event, but long story short, I'm having trouble finding out where that is in the docs. And I don't remember how to do it offhand. So emit and listen. If we listen for a click, app window, web view window. So like that's just normal events that like WebView, like the events that you'd see in the browser, I think. I don't really see anything else. Maybe I can't do that. I could have sworn. I might just need to look at the code. We might go code splunking. This was supposed to be easy, y'all. I mean, I think it's in one of these, but so this is an output from what's that called? TypeScript. TypeScript. Is it in the shell? Crabs usually have shells, yes. Friday giddiness, I guess. I know how much you appreciate my great jokes, Tony. I can't let you down there. All right. Code. We are just going to look at the code. I'm not signed in, which is fine. I presume you mean my amazingly bad jokes. They're amazingly great because of that. Yeah. Tooling. Tooling is going to be an API. Or excuse me, where we're going to want to look in tooling API. So these are the events. It'd be really nice to get some of this. I feel like we're missing some of this in our TypeScript doc export. Might want to do some upgrades and see if we can get some better info out of this. Update, move. You were thinking it would be a shell command in the shell RS module. Oh, I didn't know they did that. They dipped on Ross Stachysaurus. Interesting. I'm not sure what shell RS you're talking about. There was probably something that popped up before and I just missed it. Calls the given command, evaluates its output, the JS promise described by callback. That might be it. Spawn. Gotta imagine that that's it. Re-exports. Does it go into anything? Oh, I guess there's no re-exports. Oh, I've used Tauri API. Oh. Not what I need, but we're sort of sleuthing at this point, so. I'm pretty sure it's the call function. This is what I've been looking for. It's interesting that we don't mention it anywhere. Unfortunately, the examples that we have appear to be very minimal. Oh, it looks like we actually need to update this too. Go back. Because we still have API. Okay, so this is an RPC. Tauri API. Where is API? So there's a Tauri call. That's annoying. Guess it's not a big deal for right now. That's why we weren't finding anything. So we're on beta 8. Beta 8 actually isn't listed as a stable release. 0.11.1 is. So fair, but actually like beta 8 is what we recommend everybody be on. This, I think I'm pretty sure I did this last time. I guess it's been a few weeks, so I'll forget myself. But okay. So API RPC. So that's what we were saying. So send messages. Formats a function name and argument to be evaluated as a callback. Okay, so this is where we were before. Callback function name in the string response. Be helpful if we. Oh. I'm not sure what we're doing with this. So you can make a command. We don't have any top level functions anymore. Invoke. That's possibly what we need. Just a menu item. Menu item, tray app, package information on page load. State. Oh. Oh, we did put a light. Wonder if it's. I know we were talking about putting a state manager in here. Obviously, I haven't gotten to the Rust side enough, which is partly why I'm doing this. Most of my stuff has been on JavaScript. End of things. So Tauri runtime wrapper around Rye. Maybe it's dispatch. What do we got? We have types, we have functions, handle, create window, system tray, run. So Rye is mostly going to give us Nothing that we need, I don't think. Invoke response. Maybe it is RPC. Well, that's a function name and argument to be evaluated as a callback. Cheers, Xander. Thanks for stopping by. Deuces. It's this Friday magic. Has me all giddy. Also, probably not much sleep yet last night, but you know, kids. Love them, but sleep is also nice. Message and resolve are given to a custom command. So it's got to be in these modules. Settings, updater window. Desktop. I wouldn't mind getting into desktop notifications too. That would be kind of interesting. Child process management. I could have sworn we had some examples of this too. But it kind of feels like it moved from where I remember last seeing it. I don't think it's considered an HTTP request either. Yeah, because that's actually like, that would be Rust. Like that model would feel very like serverless like. All right, so I think what we're gonna do, I'm pretty certain you can do it, but we're gonna make a Rust command first, and this because we're gonna want a button and have the button refresh. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out. So now anytime we invoke system, we'll do get system memory. And we need to do the invoke handler. And that's in the builder. System tray. So we'll put that here. And our macro is going to be this. Now I know Rust Analyzer does not. Unresolved, what is this? Unresolved macro. Yeah, I think this might be one of the issues. Rest analyzer chokes on some of these things. So now that we saved, it should be rebuilding it. Yep. Couple warnings that we probably should deal with, but you know, in time. You know, another thing too, I just realized. Okay, so it is running. I'm definitely in the way. We need to be a little bit careful with normally that bottom corner you don't care about, you know, but Mike is right in the way too. Sort of annoying. Okay. So now we can invoke. We're going to copy that. Yeah, so there's two. So what we've got is the system crate that will give us the memory. There's two ways that I wanted to update. We click a button. Oh no, I broke it. But you click the button, it's gonna refresh and pull that data. Which we have an example for. Like the button thing I'm not worried about, which is why we're gonna quick do that right now. But I'm pretty certain I don't think we removed it. But I'm pretty certain you can do the opposite. So rather than having a Rust command and JavaScript invoking that and grabbing the information back from Rust, we want to do the opposite. So we want Rust to do a thing. You know, like we can have like do like a continual polling of it. So we could have it grab every 5 seconds or something. But then we want to pass that information back to the Webview side of things. So it would be like a subscription or an observable or that sort of thing on the JavaScript side of things. You can think of it as that. To be honest, I don't know what. I don't know what we did on the JavaScript side of things for that either. So let's do the button thing first, because I'm pretty certain we can get that to work. Invoke has already been declared. Oh. We are going to pull in the, I think we have it actually already. I think we have invoke. And we want to do this. Type button on click. Actually, we don't even need to put it there. I think we just do this. You thought meant run a process. Oh, like a child process or something? I mean, that's an option, but since we can talk to Rust and Rust is already operating like at the system level, we can just have Rust run directly. We don't need to shell out or anything, which is nice. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to say use state is I'm going to say use state null, and we're going to call it sysdata, I guess. I didn't grab, or I lost it in my copying and pasting. So it's just, I guess it's just invoke. And we want to be invoking its system memory. Click me. Pre. And we do have, it's a web view, so boop, inspect. I think that I want to say that it's turned off by default if you make a release build, but we're operating in dev mode right now, so we get the full dev tools, which is nice. Ah, it's a promise. I guess we kind of want to await that. Can we do async await? Wait, we can do async await and JavaScript. All right. I've been doing way too much Node lately. My React has been. I'm getting rusty with my React. My jokes are getting worse. React. Promise set state. I want to do the class version. Oh, we just done it. Invoke that then. Okay. We are not going to bother setting it right now. We are going to log it out. Okay, pending promise. I'm completely forgetting how to do this. Holy cow. Async functions be called an onclick. It is just async. Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. No. Hey, Godswell. Glad you could stop by. End of the day for you, eh? Getting on to nighttime. All right, we getting null back. No bueno. Oh, you know what? I bet you I'm not returning properly in here. Yep, we are just doing print line. So we actually need to return. We're just going to do used memory right now. All those things closed because it's rebuilding. It's a trap, so mismatch types expected. Found a U64. What can we return? I'm assuming we can only end. We can do inputs. I think we can only return strings. Oh, that. We definitely did something else than that, right? Custom response. Okay. Default response is a string. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is like a console log. We are calling a function. There's async, so we have to call a wait on it. I'm fine not dealing with that for right now. So can we call, what do we got? Can we do into? ToString? Guess we do have to add a return type. Kind of surprised it doesn't just know that. Got a left click. We got a message. Do we get the log? We did. Okay. So this should then let us to set system data. I think we can await that, right? Which feels better. I think we could do that. Wait has no. Maybe we do have to do it on that. Rusty. Boom. It's just a number right now, so. And we can do more complex information, so that might be something we want to play around with too. But this is fine. This is fine. So what is that calling? This, you click this button. This button is doing an invoke. There's a API, Tauri apps API, JavaScript package that we have that has a function called invoke. Invokes a function on the Rust side of things. There are command macros that we can write. And we do this because otherwise we'd have some nasty nesting stuff because we've got this like builder syntax. So we add the handler to the Tauri builder, and we use this macro to kind of clean up our code a little bit. But clicking that button does an invoke on this Rust function, calling the system create, and it is returning the used memory. So right now I am using a fair bit of memory. If we look at our, I guess we can do just the task manager. Performance. So I think there's a, so this is doing it in, I remember, bytes, bits, whatever. But this number is the in-use number. So it refreshes every time I click it. We're invoking a Rust function, yes. So this is a function in Rust. So that's that. Like this ends up being interesting because you can do, like, we can have a tray app that can effectively do like what Metal or something does. We can do all of our image grabbing and clipping and storing and all that stuff on the Rust side of things, and we could have a web front end. So we get all the benefits of Rust there, but then we get all the access to all the web API, JavaScript, what have you, for the actual like display of clips. So like that's, I think those kind of use cases are interesting because we sort of can take advantage of both worlds. Whereas if you're doing this in like any other like app packaging thing, the like Electron, you'd end up having to write this in Node or do like a sidecar kind of thing. So the performance of Rust we can really take advantage of, it feels like, with this model. And at the end of the day, the core Tauri things can be built as binaries, and those can actually be shipped with other languages. So we can potentially have other wrapping languages around the Tauri core. So some interesting use cases I think will crop up. Okay, so we've got the memory. I still wanted to figure out this. Yep. Yep. It's running the system Webview too. So like, let's kill that because we're probably gonna look at some docs for a minute here. Wish my Windows was faster shutting things down, but also streaming. I'll forgive it. We can build this, and we're not shipping the Webview, so it's using the system Webview. And this is a relatively small code base, so I imagine we are going to get a rather small build. Okay. So the other thing I want to be able to like trigger an update of that state as well, and have that be something that we could subscribe to. And that might not be something that we end up figuring out today, because we're starting to get to the end of it, despite my insistence on wanting it to work. I don't feel like it's RPC. I thought it was call, but that's not there anymore. Actually, just what kind of drop frames are we getting? Yeah, I feel that. Forgot to set the affinity for OBS. Oh well, stream's almost done. Streaming plus running Rust builds is not. I'll get some skip frames. Oh well. Where is that? This is gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to probably end up pinging Lucas or Chip or something when we get done here. But okay. So let's satisfy that curiosity. Yeah. I've had pretty good luck with in regards to this setting the process priority higher on OBS, and then Rust doesn't. Rust will just be throttled a little bit, which is fine. I mean, if it runs a little bit longer and I don't get drop frames, I'm okay with that. So we can go into, it's in target, right? Set this up in CI and I don't have to ever touch it again. Can I do the Nice. So like I could literally send that to you over Discord. Tony. So this is the exe. We also have a where is it? Where do we put that? I literally like set this up in CI once for anything that I've done with Tauri and then forget about it. Yes, that's with everything bundled. But mind you, we are not shipping Chrome, which is a big part of the reason that it's so small. So on Windows, it's going to use these days likely Edge, very likely Edge, the system Webview version of Edge. On Mac, it's going to use WebKit, which is effectively Safari, system Safari. And on Linux, it's going to use GTK. There's some work to bring Edge as a web view to all those platforms. But the key thing here is that it being a system thing means that it's going to be shared and you still have to deal with multiple browsers and those updating, but they update out of band of your app. So when there's a 0 day in the browser, that also needs to get updated in the Webview, you don't need to like rush to get out a version of your app because it's going to be patched with the OS. And I think that's anybody that's writing web already has to deal with enough of this anyways that I don't think it's that big of a deal to continue to deal with that for the benefits that you get, not having to worry about the security and updates and whatnot for the browser and packaging it too. Okay, now where the heck? I could have just looked at the output. Edge's web controller is Chromium. Why would it be smaller? Because we're using the system one. Comparing to how Electron does it, they actually ship Chromium. We don't. So it uses a Webview, similar to what Electron does, and similar to some of those others out there, but it's not shipping it with it. It's using the one that's on your system already. And that's not your installation of Edge. It's an actual like OS. You know why. I feel like we're talking past each other here. Release, bundle, MSI, tray app. So this is the actual bundled one. So like, here, I'll go ahead and send this to you. Who's they? They're not shipping the system controls. I'm not sure who they is in this context. Okay, same thing I said. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that I think that's the bulk of the difference. And since you're using the system one, you don't have to start up a new version of that every time you run it. If you've got 5 Tauri apps, you're going to be sharing some of those resources. Edge isn't. You'll have to say a little bit more. All right, what time we got? Quarter after. I don't think we're going to be able to figure out this Rust out to that. I'm probably missing. I'm pretty sure it's moved a couple times. That's part of what's throwing me off. And this most recent iteration of things, I've been all JavaScript side of things. So this is that's the commands. Plugins. I don't think we moved it out to a plugin. Well, that's kind of cool. That's it. This is, I guess we'll save the source. That's not what I was expecting. It's fine though. It's fine. Saved that because we need the better docs on that. So we've got an invoke struct. Formats the value given formatter. Borrow from I'm pretty sure it's something like this, but I'm not gonna figure it out, I don't think. Well, I don't think I want to find it. So did still feel like we're not quite grasping, or we're talking past each other, Tony. Are we clear now? Edge isn't. This is the other thing I would kind of like to, I want to play around with too. We've got basically clap bundled in. So you can make a CLI version of your app that uses the same, which I think is neat. You're saying the Edge web view doesn't need to ship full Chromium. Okay, so there's Chromium. Edge is built on top of Chromium. There is the Edge that you download, but your system also has a WebView Edge. So like Windows just comes with WebView. And as I understand, that's something like if you've got the Office 365 suite, that's what that's using. So it's literally just part of your OS. So rather than us shipping a version of Chromium with this binary, like that MSI that I just sent you, rather than shipping it with that, we are using the built-in OS one directly, not the one that you download. Yeah? That makes sense? I don't think it's the RPC to send messages to the JS layer of Webview. I mean, maybe it is. It'd be nice to see an implementation of that. I wonder if Even look real quick. Okay, we are saying the same thing. Okay, cool. Gonna search in the Discord real quick. I don't know. Could have sworn we did it. I'm pretty sure it's with this. It just does not look like what I remember. So I think we're gonna just put our code on the hanger and call it a day. I think we've I mean, once I get that, I think we've pretty much done everything that we want to do. So we might end up doing a different topic next time. If anybody's interested in digging into something else, feel free to let me know. Any other questions? Try out that the MSI that I sent you, Tony. It's only got a couple. I'm only gonna mine Bitcoin. No big deal. I'm not. No, I would never do that. Not a crypto person. Cool. Well, if you think of anything that we want to go through, I want to try the CLI stuff. I haven't had a chance to get into that either. And I'd kind of like to do some of this image stuff. Image processing kind of things in Rust and pass that to a Webview. I think that would be interesting to look at. But that will be for future streams. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I will see you next time. Bye.